National Orientation Agency.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Ampelon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not going to talk, with the sport.
And it's Hakim Ziyech, who puts the Atlas.
Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People television, where your health has a voice.
It's a beautiful Wednesday evening, and I welcome you to the midweek edition of Political Lens with Chukwuma Okoro. Now, I am Chukwuma Okoro, and this is VOP TV. We are broadcasting on Metro SLTV channel 264 on YouTube and other social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. You can also be a part of this conversation by calling in or sending WhatsApp messages to the number scrolling on your screen. You can also go to the YouTube comment section and be a participant. Tell us, your views. Let's have your views, your thoughts on the topics of discussion. Now, on the show today, we have compiled a lot is happening within the political scene here in Nigeria. So we have chosen like 3 or 4 stories that we are going to chime into in the course of this conversation. Number 1, confusion and tension as APC World Congresses end in deaths, fiasco and thuggery. Quite unfortunate. Now, the people that say that they fought for democracy in Nigeria are the ones destroying the same democracy. they purportedly fought for. That is coming from Peter Obi. Away from that, with Makinde's potential exit from the PDP to the ADC, probably, PDP has lost a foothold in southern Nigeria. Now, El-Rufai should answer to the fraud allegations and not play politics. That is coming from former political advisor to the president, Hakeem Baba Ahmed. Now, let's bring in our guests. We've been joined virtually by Barrister Asim Adams. Adams is a constitutional lawyer and political affairs analyst. Good evening to you, Barrister Asim Adams, and good to have you on Political Lens.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Okoro. Good evening to everybody.
Good evening, Barrister Adams, and welcome to Political Lens. Now, before we get into the show, I would like for you to, set your phone on auto rotate so that, okay, beautiful, I understand it's okay from the tech team. Barrister Adams, now let's get into it. The World Congresses of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in the lead up to its national convention slated for later this year, have been marred by deaths, fiasco, thuggery, and postponements across several states of the Federation. Now, in Ondo State, violence marred the APC World Congress in Danre local government area, leaving 2 people dead and 3 injured, according to police reports. While the command spokesperson said tactical teams were deployed after armed thugs attacked participants and set a vehicle ablaze. Commissioner of Police Adebowale Lawal led a joint security response to restore order while investigations into the incident are ongoing. Meanwhile, heavy security was deployed across Benue State as the APC conducted World Congresses in all 23 local government areas. State Chairman Benjamin Omale said the arrangements backed by Governor Hyacinth Alia were to ensure a peaceful process. Party officials confirmed that materials were distributed early and that the exercise aimed to elect ward executives and delegates without disruption. But in Delta State, suspected political talks allegedly loyal to House of Representatives member Jonathan Ukodiko disrupted the APC World Congress in Oto Owe/Akewe Ward 6, Isoko North local government area of Delta State. Party members accused the lawmaker of attempting to impose ward executives ahead of the 2027 elections, leading to tension and the eventual collapse of the exercise. The accused denied involvement, while local party leaders confirmed the Congress did not hold due to the violence. And in Adamawa State, the APC has postponed its state and local government World Congresses in Adamawa State, according to a letter dated February 17, 2026, addressed to Independent National Electoral Commission. Now, signed by the National Chairman of the APC, Professor Nentawe Yuwalta, and National Secretary Ajibola Basiru, the party said a new date will be announced later. Now, it's been postponed indefinitely. Sources claim the delay may allow Governor Amado Fintiri, to finally, the camp, to finalize a planned defection from the PDP to the All Progressives Congress, APC. Reports across states show that confusion, carnage, and thuggery greeted the exercise. Now, let's bring you in, Barrister Asim Adams. This is just World Congresses, and we see this level of brigandage. Does it foretell what will happen at a higher level? Talking about in the lead up to the APC National Convention. They have to do World Congresses, local government congresses, state congresses, now the National Convention, to elect national officers and probably a presidential candidate, senators, senatorial candidates, House of Representatives candidates, and all of that. If at the world level we see this level of brigandage, what do we expect to see, in the coming days, in the future? Are you able to tell us, lead us into all that you know? Help us make sense of it all, Barrister Asim Adams.
Yeah, thank you very much. There's no difference from what has been happening in our political ecosystem for decades. There is no internal party democracy. There's violence and desperate politicians who want to win by all means possible. That has been what we have seen. That has been what has occasioned right from time. So it's not even new. So we were thinking by now that they would have gotten over it, but nothing has been done about that. And that is the fear I have. I was talking to a group of people yesterday, and I said that you may have very good laws, assuming the Senate was able to pass that bill for real-time, transmission of results. And you have it in the Electoral Act. That it's not just by itself. That we still need to do more for elections to be credible in Nigeria here, because the foundations of our elections are faulty. Now, let me give you in this scenario now where just the beginning, the local government level, that is the smallest or minutest level of congregation of elections, and you are seeing this kind of violence, you are seeing this kind of distortions, and even loss of lives. That is at the local government level. We have never gotten to the state level and the national level. Then you're not talking about elections next year. So if politicians at this point could decide to unleash violence on, even their party members, that is the card-carrying members, their own political parties, could not even do credible elections or what they call congresses or whatever they call it, then what do you think will happen in the general elections?
Okay,
that has been my worry.
That has been your worry. And Barrister Adams is clearly worrisome. But when you frame it around the normalcy, that is what we are used to. Well, I am not sure everybody will agree with you. Personally, here, I don't have an opinion, but I don't think I agree with it, because at some point, I was also involved in monitoring elections at the ward level, congresses. Take, for example, the last PDP Congress in Abia State. I was part of it. Okay, in the 2022, in the lead up to the primaries, I was part of it, and the whole exercise was seamless. Even the Labour Party, the exercise was seamless. Even in the APC in Abia State, it was all seamless. But we see a situation where now the APC, like you said, and I have not heard, in recent times, even as far in 2022 that I made reference to, that people were, in Ondo State, 2 people were killed. The state party chairman of the APC was assaulted. And I have not heard of this level of brigandage at the ward level, at the local government level, at the state level. And so it becomes worrisome when you say that it is a norm. I will not agree personally, and I'm sure that a lot of people will not agree. But like I said, I don't have an opinion, but I'm just telling you what I experienced. We're using my state as a case point. Now, people are worried. Is this a product of everyone trooping to the APC? You recall that in the past 2 years or so, we have, if Ahmadu Finturi joins the APC, we will have about 30 governors in the APC. And is this issue of this person is 001, like in Rivers State, where you are, there is this problem of who is the leader of the party in the state, who is the political leader of the state. Is it a product of everyone trooping into the APC? Because some people also predicted that the APC was going to implode because they have old members. Now, people that moved from one party to another one, from PDP, from Labour Party to the APC, are coming to assume positions of authority away from the people that nurture the party from the grassroots. Could this be a product of all of that?
Well, I wouldn't rule it out, but I don't think it's the main reason, but it could be part of it. For me, the main reason why you see people, kind of unleash violence in situations like this is when you have people who are very desperate. They want power by all means. They see political power as the beginning and the end of their existence. That if they lose out on political power, their life is gone. They have placed so much on it, so it's like an investment or an investable tool that, let me put in my effort here so that I can start cashing out once I win that ticket. At the moment I begin to cash out, open and close, then I'll become wealthy, I'll become popular. Because you have seen that in those days, one of the means for you to, get, be rich or whatever, is for you to get a good job. When you finish school, you go with your certificate, looking for a good paying job to sustain your living and maybe up your living. But today, what we do is that charlatans who did not ever go to school, we wait for election year like this and begin to militarize the system. Because they see it as an avenue for them to become rich, as the case may be, for them to have political power, as the case may be. So I believe that is one of the reasons.
Okay, all right.
APC having 31 governors is normal in Nigeria. I want to tell you this. Hello?
Barrister Adams, go ahead. I can hear you, sir.
The problem has been like that with the ruling party in Nigeria. You remember in 1999 when the PDP won the first elections, they boasted that they were going to rule for about 100 years before any opposition party would take over power from them. And you could find out that everybody in Nigeria then were all trooping to PDP. Some governors at that time, legislators, etc., were trooping to PDP. So it's like the honeypot when a ruling party is in power, everybody wants to get in there and believing that that is where they can get what they want politically.
But Barrister Adams, at no point did PDP have up to 30 governors. I think this is the first time it's happening. In 1999, ADC in the Southwest had 6 states. The PDP had, I think the AMPP then had about 4 or 5 states nationwide. So it was, even if it was not evenly distributed, but there was some kind of, there was a semblance of multi-party system. But we have a situation out of 36, we already have 30 of them going to the APC. And when you say it has always been like that, I don't seem to understand it. Has it always been like that? And I just gave you an instance now.
There was a time, if you check your history book,
okay,
there was a time you found that PDP had the highest number of governors.
They had 22 governors.
In its fold.
They had 22 governors.
Good, 22.
Okay.
22 out of 36.
Okay,
22 out of 36.
Yes.
That is 14 left.
14 left.
Is it also?
Yes.
So if one political party, had 22, not even 18, not even 14, having 22 as at that time, what APC just did is to improve on what PDP
exactly
did.
The point, Barrister Adams, that improvement, 22 and 30 can never be the same. I mean, 8 marks ahead.
No, but that is let us look at the mathematical figure.
Okay.
22, what just added was 8 in number.
And you say that 8 is just. 8 is just.
Added.
8 is just to you in a situation where we have 36 states of the federation.
You know why 8 is just?
Okay.
You know why? If you had 22 out of 36 then, the question now is that 8 other people now joined that 22 to make it 30. Why are you querying them? That is the kind of yeah. When I tell people and I use the word that Nigeria, we are not practicing democracy, they keep arguing with me. We are not practicing them. If we are practicing democracy, this kind of thing will not ever happen.
Okay.
Even so if we have two parties.
If it will not happen, then it's not a norm, because the impression I had was that, well, we have been seeing this kind of exercise, but I'm happy that you got us to this point where you have said, well, if we were practicing democracy, this kind of thing will not happen, which means impliedly you are saying that it is abnormal.
It's abnormal. It's abnormal.
Okay.
It's abnormal in when it comes to issue of democracy.
Okay.
But it is a normal in Nigeria.
It's a norm in Nigeria, according to Barrister Adam. All right. Now, Barrister Adam, before we leave this topic, because we have other topics to touch on in the course of this conversation, are we likely to see an implosion of the APC before 2027, using this as a gauge? I mean, if at the ward level we are seeing all of this, what will happen at the state level? Are we likely to see an implosion? Is it something that might just
certainly happen? We are going to see, yes.
Land on your thought, Barrister. I can
certainly, yes, certainly we are going to see an implosion. That is either before 2027 or after 2027.
Okay, beautiful. Now let's get into the second topic of discussion. Now, Peter Obi, former Labour Party presidential candidate and former governor of Anambra State, has condemned the use of tear gas on peaceful protesters in Nigeria, calling it evidence of democratic backsliding. He said the citizens were attacked simply for demanding free, fair and credible elections, describing the act as a betrayal of democratic principles. Obi criticized leaders he claimed once championed democracy but now undermined it. He urged Nigerians to resist what he termed ongoing threats to democratic governance and to unite in protecting the country's institutions. His remarks come amid controversy over the Electoral Act Amendment Bill and disagreements within the National Assembly regarding mandatory electronic transmission of results. Civil society groups and opposition parties are also pushing for strict enforcement of e-transmission measures ahead of the 2027 general elections. Barrister Adams, according to Peter Obi, the people that fought for democracy are the ones undermining it now. Do you share that sentiment with Peter Obi?
Well, I wouldn't know whether who are those who fought for democracy. Where are those who fought for democracy? Did they fight for democracy? Who are the people? He didn't call the names of those who fought for democracy.
I think that Peter Obi is making a veiled reference to somebody like the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who at some point, during his days in the NADECO was very, very active, in trying to push the military back to the barracks. And when he became a governor out of government, he also played a very active role in the opposition, sponsoring and mounting protests and demonstrations here in Nigeria, sponsoring. But this time looks like he doesn't want to stomach any of all of that. So, and people in the National Assembly, have a few of them who were at some point, people like the Senate leader, Obayemi Bamidele, he was very active, in the days of the military, even in the NADECO. But these are people that can't stomach any form of demonstration now. So these are the people that Peter Obi is talking about.
You see, Mr. Okoro, people that fought for that, I'm very good at you mention names now, because that is what I was asking Peter Obi to do. People that fought for democracy truly in Nigeria and gained nothing from it are the true heroes of democracy. Pa Aferiwani, Mike Nahoro, Ibrahim Adesanya. There are so many, I cannot remember all their names now because of time. They never fought because they wanted to gain from the system. Nelson Mandela, fought apartheid to a standstill. He never fought because he wanted to be president of South Africa, or he was fighting because he wanted to lead a free South Africa and be their president forever. You saw that for 27 years he was in jail. When he came out, it was offered to him. He didn't go there and say, because I fought for apartheid, I must be president of the new South Africa, the Rainbow Coalition South Africa. He never said so. Everybody came together and said, "Oh, God, you are the one that made this possible. Please go there." And once he got to that place, he did only 4 years. He did only 4 years. Not people like the president, as people say, he fought for democracy. They didn't fight for democracy, they fought for themselves. They were fighting to open up a space for them to contest. That is the reason why you found out that immediately the military government and governors or regimes were coming to an end, they quickly formed political parties, to actualize what they thought or fought for as at that time, fighting for themselves. But those who really fought for democracy as at that time did not even contest. They went to sleep. Enahoro was alive. Adesanya and the rest of them that, Pariwani lost his life while he was, fighting, sponsoring NADECO, as the case may be. A B2 Kiwe, he is still alive today. They didn't come and begin to contest. You understand? You see people like Major Umar from Kaduna and some other people, I cannot remember their names now. Gani Fawayimi, Did they benefit from this? Did they benefit? You understand? These are people that truly fought for democracy without asking for returns or gains of their struggle. They did it because they wanted Nigeria to be liberated and be a democratically, a free space. Not because of their personal gains, as the case may be. You cannot compare those people to people like Tinubu that fought to open the space for them to now contest, as the case may be. That is why we are having these kind of situations. You see, people like Julius Nyerere of Tanzania, you find that they did this, not like people like Robert Mugabe that fought apartheid, and when the space was open, he occupied it for life. We have people like that in Nigeria. If you give them the opportunity, most of these people will occupy that presidency for life. So this is the thing. What about the people that died? Nigerians that died during June 12th, during that regime of the military, who were carrying placards, who had nothing to gain from it immediately. Where are they today? They are the heroes of, not these people, not Tinubu and the rest of them. For me, I see Tinubu as somebody who struggled to open a political space. So when people begin to tell me that they democracy, you need to ask them that question. What do you mean by fighting for democracy?
Okay.
When you fought for yourself.
All right. Barrister Adams, I like the reference you made to South Africa, Now, let me ask you, if the president does only one term and says 2027, Nigerians, bye-bye, will you commend him as a hero of democracy? Like what Nelson Mandela did?
Him as one of the heroes of democracy. Because I will know that he didn't come in there because he wants to have that personal gain for himself. But when you now begin to say, because I fought, then you must do the maximum 8 years, even when people feel you are not doing okay, even when people feel you are not doing all right in government, you still want to force yourself on the people. Yes, they are giving you that grace. I say, because you fought for democracy, or you were part of those who fought to open the space for democracy to thrive, let us give you that opportunity. You did that. And at the end of the day, you became the president. I magnanimously, I thought in the true spirit that he would have said, I'll just do 4 years. And I'll do, he sets an example. He becomes a statesman. He becomes a statesman. That is what I thought. For me, statesmen are people like a bit too kiwi.
What if he thinks that his work is not done?
No, I'm talking to BC Kano, I mean.
BC
Kano, not a bit too kiwi. These are the heroes. BC Kano, he never came out to say he wants to become governor of, his state, even though he risked his life for democracy in Nigeria. He has not come out to begin to say no. Because I did this, I must get a ticket as my candidate for governorship in my state. These are people I regard so much. I give them credit. I see them as my heroes. So these are the kind of things.
Okay, all right. But Barrister Adams, let's go back to the reason why Obi is, trolling this leader, saying, well, you supposedly fought for democracy, but you are destroying the same democracy. Is coming out from what happened in the Senate. I have not spoken with you since the House of Reps and the Senate harmonized the electoral law as amended, the reenactment, the new amendment. Now, they came up with, the House of Representatives had to go back on their words. On the 23rd of December, they had said, well, we approve compulsory e-transmission of results. But yesterday, they changed the song and said, well, let's roll with the Senate, where Senate says it is hybrid. If you can do electronic, you do. If you cannot do, or where it's not possible, you use manual, which is hybrid. Taking us back to where we are coming from, the 2022 Electoral Act. Now, what's your reaction to all of that? Does it look like, because these people, the argument of the National Assembly is that at this point, Nigeria is not yet ripe for e-transmission of results. They say we don't even have steady power supply, we don't even have network connectivity in all nooks and crannies of the country, and all of that. Will you, anybody fault them? What's your position on this? What do you think, Barrister Adams? Do you think that we are ripe for e-transmission of results?
I want to say with due respect that before now, I have made my stand known. You see, the Senate and even those who are clamoring, who are the people clamoring for e-transmission of results? Is it not the opposition? If you look at the riots, I mean the protests in that, is it organic? It is the opposition parties that are organizing their supporters and maybe Showore and the rest. Showore belongs to a political party. So those are the people. It is not like NSAS where the whole Nigerians will come out and begin to say. But they will tell us that Nigerians say, who are Nigerians that said so? That is the best way of transmission. Even if you do e-transmission of results, will that stop a rigging of elections in Nigeria? That is the problem, because people don't want to be very realistic. I have said this before. Nigeria does not even from our laws, it's a hybrid. It's hybrid.
No,
between manual and electronic.
They want that law. Nigerians want that law changed. They want it to be made compulsory.
Well, if who are the Nigerians who want the law changed? That's what I'm saying. Is it the Nigerians or the political parties in opposition that want the laws changed?
Well, Nigerians make up the political parties. Public opinion, seems to sway in favor of.
See, Mr. Okoro, that is a mistake we all make.
Okay.
Not all of us belong to political parties. I'm not a card-carrying member of any political party.
Okay, but what about public opinion? Barrister Adams, what about public opinion? Public opinion, if you go through social media, across social media platforms, Nigerians seem to be demanding for mandatory transmission of results, electronic transmission.
And the Nigerians asking, and which yardstick they use in a state and a country where statistics are faulty and not accurately done? Is it based on social media? Is on social media I see all these things taking place. On social media, and social media is not a realistic platform. I have told people that you see the swell of activities on social media. One man can hold about 3 handles and begin to gather crowd and say 1 or 2 things, and you think it's social media or Nigerians.
So Barrister Adams, at this point, okay, the bulk majority of Nigerians are what? Land on your thoughts, sir.
The majority of Nigerians who are on the street, like myself and the rest of them, we are looking at the two parties struggling on how to amend, Electoral Act. But me, I'm of the opinion that it's not going to bring credible elections. Now, please, if you give me time, I'll just explain one second.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Are you aware, or let me ask you, which election has been described as the freest and fairest credible election in Nigerian history? I don't know if you know.
No, go ahead, sir. I know.
June 12th. Is it not so? June 12th. That is the election the even international observers have used as a yardstick today. June 12th was not done based on electronic transmission of results. It was done because it was an organic election. The people came together and said, this is the person we want to vote or to become our president. Based on whether religious, ethnic line, nobody cared. Every Nigerian man had that, whatever I said, this is the person we want to be our president. And they worked towards that election. Then there is a man at the helm of affairs called Humphrey Nwosu. Mr. Professor Humphrey Nwosu, he ought to be given an award. Humphrey Nwosu, the INEC headquarters ought to be named after him. He conducted the election under military regime. And when soldiers and Babangida felt that, look, we don't want this man to become the man that is winning, we don't want him to become president, they contrived situations. Reports had it that Nwosu ran away with the results of the people, and that gun was even put on his head. That if you don't stop announcing this result that they are going to shoot, he said they should shoot him. And he went ahead to announce that result. And today we knew that Abiola scored XYZ and the number of whatever is called. That's number one. There was no electronic transmission. Number two, Abia State, where Oji Alex Oti today, people are saying is the best governor is this and that. The particular lady, one Professor Ngozi also, held her ground, even when manipulations took place that it should announce a different set of results. She said over her dead body will she do that. I didn't see anybody reward her. The character of that woman today ought to be exemplifying and exemplified. She did that not because there was electronic transmission of results in the Electoral Act. It was manual, electronic, hybrid. But somebody stood the ground somewhere and said, whether it is manual or electronic, the results as cast by the people is what I will stand with. And that was how Alex Oti became the governor of Abia State today. So a similar thing I'm asking Nigerians to think better on this time.
Oh, okay, so
now you may have an electronic transmission in your paper, your constitution, your electoral act, but the INEC officials, the presiding officers are corrupt. They can contrive situations. We do not defeat the essence of the electronic transmission of results, as the case may be. Will electronic transmission of results stop rigging and manipulation of results? I don't think so. We have seen a situation where the judiciary in Peter Obi's case, they couldn't stand above board. Why did they not do that? Electronically, results were transmitted to the IRED in 2023. But the judiciary that made Tinubu president did not rely on the IRED results. They went and relied on the which were transmitted electronically. They went and relied on it and declared, a Tinubu president of Nigeria. You understand the point now? And the contrived situation, that is why you see the judiciary was part of it. So if the judiciary is corrupt, if you like, have electronic transmission of results in your electoral act, you are still digging the same grave for yourself.
So apparently, Barrister Adams,
that is just my take.
Based on your position, what you are saying is that the problem is not with our laws, but with the operators of our laws.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me tell you, if a man that is sincere, you know that in this country, JAM, even as it is, that they do electronically, a girl, Messioma, was able to infiltrate and hack, JAM, website where she gave herself scores and gave herself 380 something and over 400. And people thought that was her scores. But when JAM now realized that their system had been hacked electronically, they raised alarm. People did not believe them until the girl now said, yeah, it is true.
Okay, all right. All right. Now,
do those things.
Okay, let's wait into the next conversation because we still have two other.
Let me just round up on this. I'm sorry, please.
No, go ahead. Sir.
It's just a second.
No, go ahead.
Just a second.
Go ahead.
So that tells you, I am not in support of what the Senate did, though, but I am saying that it is a political affair between them. Who are the people that will gain from it? Are they not the politicians and the political parties? That is number one. Number two, does that give you a foolproof, that you will not rig elections in Nigeria? I don't believe so. Assuming on the day of election, you have an electronic transmission, but there is violence in the electoral, in the polling units. Both presiding officers and everybody ran away. Will you have any result to transmit electronically? So we need to address all these things holistically. Not picking and choosing which one to do.
All right, Barrister Adams, I think I would like for you to come back here another day so that we can, interrogate properly the new amended Electoral Act of 2022 based on what the Senate and the House of Representatives have harmonized in the past 2 days or so. I'd like for us to expand it.
The president has even assented.
Okay, assented.
The breaking news.
Okay.
Yeah, now, the breaking news just now.
Okay. Yes. Now, let's get into our next topic of discussion. Seyi Makinde, governor of Oyo State, the only remaining silent governor in the PDP, is reportedly considering defecting to the African Democratic Congress, ADC, potentially leaving the party with only its 3 northern governors. This follows court recognition of the Nyesom Wike faction of the PDP as authentic leadership, intensifying internal struggles. Observers suggest that northern governors Bala Mohammed, Bauchi State, Umaru Fintiri, Adamawa State, and Dauda Lawal, Zamfara State, may also defect, potentially leaving Wike in control of a weakened party. Barrister Adams, if all these governors leave the PDP for Wike, what is he going to do with the PDP? Will he have achieved his aim of controlling the party, or will he have achieved his aim of handing over the PDP to the president as he promised him based on what Sheyi Makinde told Nigerians?
Absolutely. The PDP, if it happens like that, the PDP now become a bounty to Nyesom Wike to present and say, I told you I was going to get the head of Moses, and this is the head of Moses, my Lord. So the PDP will now become a bounty, a loot, that is used amongst, pirates. It becomes a loot. And once you have it now, you keep it to yourself. It's a laurel, kind of. So that means that I told you I'm going to lobotomize and dismember PDP and make sure they don't function. I have done that. And that is what the man has said. That is why you see I follow Nyesom Wike. He may not be a politician you love or like, as the case may be, but he made his statement and stood by it. He fought it when everybody was even against him. Look at it now. They not left the party for him. What does that mean now is that he's holding the party. He drove everybody out of the party. Dino Melaya and the rest of them that were saying they will stand him toe to toe. Where are they today? You understand? That is why you see I follow him, his principles in Nigeria electoral, whatever. He has gone to read the books of Niccolo Machiavelli. The reason why, when you say the prince, Machiavelli is saying the essence of politics is power. Let us not deceive ourselves. The essence why you are going to politics is for you to get power. And how you get power by any means possible, it doesn't matter, but the end will justify the means. That is what Wike did. He does not care what you say, but he knows he needed power, and he got the power and neutralized a formidable opposition like PDP. Have you ever thought if PDP were to be together, like they were not dismembered and all the governors were in PDP, everybody was in PDP against the APC? Do you know that by now Tinubu would have run in a I am telling you from my experience. Do you know that by now we would have been having credible and viable alternative, not ADC? You understand? So he went for that big political party that had, history, that had the kind of men that can destabilize Tinubu. Have you ever imagined if an Atiku Abubakar, Dino Melaye, Saraki were all remained in PDP, and Nyesom Wike was even in PDP as case may be, and Tinubu is in APC? Do you know what would have happened by now?
Barrister Adams.
The election would have been concluded.
Barrister Adams, if you have Nyesom Wike do all that you have ascribed to him, now will you consider him a hero or a villain?
He's a hero to people. He's a villain to others.
What is
For me, he's a hero to me.
Okay, on what count?
He's a hero.
On what count?
On the grounds that he's a principled politician, the only one I've seen.
Okay.
He stands by his words. All other politicians are like the British weather. Today they say this, tomorrow they do the next, the opposite, as the case may be. Nyesom Wike is a hero to me. He might be a villain to others. He's somebody that I have seen that we have said that the moment Nyesom Wike is behind you, he will not shift. Don't be scared. He will remain with you till that battle is won.
But this same Nyesom Wike that has turned to a hero to some people, according to you, is the same man that said, do you expect me to leave the cancer, malaria, and go to answer, making reference, to PDP and APC? I know that formally he has not joined the APC, but he's working for an APC government, and apparently he has destroyed the PDP for the APC. Does that make him a man of his words? I'll never leave PDP. I will never destroy PDP. No, we are not talking about Peter. We are talking about Nyesom Wike now.
to use example, you are talking about yes, okay, my person. So I have the right to profile P2B and make example.
No, but P2B is not in the
my
issue
brother,
now.
I'm
The issue here is Nyesom Wike.
My friend
But
told
it's
me
Adams.
that.
The issue here is Nyesom Wike.
I want to use.
You
I want
said
to do
he's
that.
a man of his words. You say he's a man of his words, and I'm giving you his words to him. His words that he recanted.
He stood by his words.
Okay.
He said. He didn't join APC. He's a card-carrying member.
He's
Working with APC,
working for the APC as a government and destroying the PDP for the APC.
Listen, Mr. Okoro, what he said is that I can never be a member of APC by his words. He's not a member of APC. He's not a card-carrying member of APC. Because I collaborate with you does not make me, part of you. I love your family does not make me a family member. I work with your family does not make me a family member. When it comes to when they are to discuss family issues, I will not be there, as the case may be. And that is why I was trying to say, let me not even use P2B for an example, if you don't want me to do that.
Okay.
Because he said also, I will use it. He said, over his dead body will he leave PDP.
P2B and Nyesom Wike are not the only politicians that have left their parties. Atiku Abubakar, the president, the current president, left from AD to ACN to APC. Now, Barrister.
Absolutely.
Okay, Barrister. Now, former presidential advisor, political advisor to the president, Hakeem Baba Ahmed, has advised Nasiru El-Rufai, former governor of Kaduna State, former FCT minister, to focus on addressing allegations of corruption against him rather than engaging in multiple political battles. While speaking on a national TV program, Baba Ahmed said the claims that El-Rufai stole public funds should be subjected to judicial scrutiny instead of being dismissed as mere political disputes. He stressed that all allegations, including those involving Nuhu Ribadu and claims about the procurement of thallium sulfate, should be openly examined through legal process. According to him, sweeping such serious accusations aside, as politics is inadequate and only transparent judicial proceedings can establish the truth. The remand comes amid a growing public rift between El-Rufai and Nuhu Ribadu, with both sides making strong allegations, including claims of attempted abduction and political interference. Baba Ahmed described the breakdown of their once close relationship as troubling and reflective of a deeper problem in Nigeria's political culture, warning that the escalating dispute could have serious consequences. Barrister Adams, now and all of that, more like trying to beg the issues around the fraud allegation of 423 million naira when he was governor of Kaduna State. He's undergone investigation by the state agency, which transferred it to the EFCC, and all we hear now. But does it look like it's a coincidence? Why this EFCC? Why is it coming up now that he's having problems with the National Security Advisor? What do you see? Is it some form of coincidence, or is it actually politics at play here?
Is politics at play? El-Rufai wants to become president in 2031. Have that at the back of your mind. Nuhu Ribadu wants to become president 2031 because they believe that that is the time the northern part of Nigeria, the presidency may be zoned to the northern part of Nigeria. So the earliest they start, the better. Two, El-Rufai is believing that Nuhu Ribadu, who is not a team politics, has become the chosen one by President Tinubu. So he's doing everything to make sure that he decimates him. El-Rufai was thinking that Tinubu would have worked with him rather than working with I sees Nuhu Ribadu as a threat. The two of them are bosom friends. They are very close friends. What we call Nigeria here, good friends. The two of them are the same. They are very close, according to reports. For years or decades, they've been there. But the political gymnastics and ambition has torn them apart now as it is. So it's a political warfare between the two of them. And on one hand, and all this is just for the presidency of Nigeria. But if I profile what Baba Ahmed said, I agree with Baba Ahmed that politics should be separated from the real core issues of corruption. It's been established that 480-something billion or so is missing from Kaduna State coffers and is traced to El-Rufai. El-Rufai has to go down, clear himself, because it's not all about politics. Don't mix politics with this. And those his supporters should not think is politically motivated, as the case may be. He has not denied the fact that those monies are not missing. The second one is that when you begin to sit down and talk about thialum sulfate, acidic or poisonous gas, I used to hear those things in the old Russian Republic, Federation, where you say there was gas that was used to eliminate in whatever. It has raised a lot of questions. Is it possible that because of the closeness of Ribadu and El-Rufai, that maybe El-Rufai got to know before they started quarreling that no Ribadu, consciously imported sulfate, the poisonous gas, to use in 2027? These are things that should be unraveled. But the biggest problem we are having now is that where are you going to unravel it? Is it not the NSA or no Ribadu that we throw light whether they bought such things or not? It is the same person. So it's a coup d'etat in my own, whatever. Then you now go and you've seen El-Rufai talking about wiretapping the NSA, the phone line. These are very serious matters. First of all, I don't think they should play politics with security of the nation. No nation plays politics with their security. The second other thing I want to recommend is that I would call on, medical doctors to examine the person of El-Rufai right now to know his psychological and mental stability, because it is very rare for you to see a high-profile politician implicating himself, what we call self-implication. And when he was asked on national television that, do you know the consequences of this, what you have said? He said, yes, he knows the consequences. You see, for me, as a lawyer, okay, I also look at mental cases and psychological balances of my client. Okay. If I were to be acting for El-Rufai, I would first of all rush him to the nearest, psychiatric hospital to evaluate him, because it's not a normal man that will come and make such assertion on open television, not even telling or maybe writing a book. He came openly and said, I did this. I've never seen that kind of thing happen. I always saw that happen once when a young man, when the NNPC office in Falomo was gutted by fire. One young man today, who is a lawyer today, came up and said, they are the ones that set the building on fire. Okay. And people ran after him. And when DSS ran after him, he was arrested. It was later discovered that the young man, had some psychological problem. And he was not even involved in the fire. Okay. All right. Then you may look at Obadiah Meliafa.
Mr. Adams, we are out of time, unfortunately. I would like for you to use 20 seconds to give us your concluding thoughts as a wrap on this show.
My concluding thought is that of that of the El-Rufai matter that I was on. Okay. Please, they should not play politics with it. All right. The security advisor or NSA or DSS or the federal government should investigate those allegations made by El-Rufai. They should not politicize it. Secondly is that every politician that has embezzled money, why is it that whenever you bring them before the EFCC, they will tell you that they are being victimized politically? They will not tell you that, yes, they stole the money. Nobody talks about the money stolen. He will say, because of the fact that I am in opposition, that is why they are victimizing me. But when you ask them, did this money go through you or not, he will keep quiet. All right. Then. If a man like Yahya Bello now goes to ADC and EFCC come after, he say, because I left the APC to ADC, that is why they are coming after me. Okay. So we should not politicize corruption in Nigeria.
Now, this would be a good place to draw anchor on this program. We've been speaking with Barrister Asim Adam, constitutional lawyer and political affairs analyst. I am Chukwuma Okoro. Up next is Issues with Nana Ndim Duto. Bye for now, and see you tomorrow, 8 o'clock on the morning show. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People Television, where your health has a voice. In a world